the gentlemen that came out to surrender their arms, to say, let there be peace in Bakassi. And that would have been possible without the instrumentality of a number of citizens in this state, and one of them is already seated with us in the studio.
And we have it as Dr. Alfred Mboto, Permanent Secretary, Special Services Office, Governor's Office. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm happy 60th independence celebration of Nigeria.
Yes, right. And from us to you is happy birthday to you, sir.
Congratulations.
Okay. Today is my own. Thank you.
Okay, so you've also seen the big story. I mean, you were part of the big story there. Saw the surrendering of arms by the ex-agitators of the Bakassi strike force. We'd like to find out, how was it possible that these boys released their arms willingly, without any cause of struggle or fight or confrontation or anything at all? We saw them willingly taking off the charms, giving off their weapons, no issues. How was that made possible?
That is a show and a clear indication of the power of dialogue, the power of using peace and conscientization of people to achieve whatever you want to achieve. There was so much consultation, so many meetings and agreements and disagreements with them, recognizing the shortcomings of each, even the shortcomings from you who is also making the dialogue, until a mean is obtained where the two agree. That is a show that there is no problem, no disagreement between two people, between nations, between groups, that is not solvable through dialogue. It was dialogue that made it happen. Dialogue with many people came in to assist in talking with them and giving assurances that there is not going to be anything like betrayal. There's not going to be talking to you this, and I come back to do the opposite. No, we gave that assurances, and that is what has played off there. I think that is the lesson I want every person to learn, that even in your own home, wherever you are, when you apply dialogue, you are sure of getting peace, you are sure of getting understanding, you are sure of settling everything that seems to be impossible.
Okay, Doctor, let's look at, before we get to the story of the day, which is on security, there's something we were talking before we came live, which is what they have been able to gain so far. Could you reel them out again for us?
You mean gaining so far from
the government, as a result of them laying down their arms?
This is a very serious relative piece. Remember, before now, in daily basis, you see incidents of armed robbery, incidents of rape, incidents of kidnapping, drugs. Everywhere you see drugs, drugs were becoming a native trait in the state. And because that happened, it had to affect the revenue generation, internal revenue generation of the state. Security was seriously threatened. So many people running away at that time, not being ready to even come and do business across river. But with the amnesty, the coasts were open. Now you can stay. Now you can even bear with me now. Even our Calabar port, we stand now and start having ships entering.
So we're also looking at some form of trainings for them as well.
Really, all those that were brought out from on the program. The processes that were used were the first to really conscientize them and remove that thinking of what they were, to now accepting that they want to be true citizens, good citizens, who will engage in constructive ventures. And because of that, many of them were sent into skill acquisition, which up to now some of them have graduated, other ones are there, are still on. And about 2 weeks ago even, 150 of them were also recommended and sent to EU, they call it PRESCO, the Presidential Committee on Light Arms, which is co-sponsored by the United Union, African, AU, and other agencies. And the training The 150 will be trained. After that, the second batch will also come that is going to also take 150 of them.
Okay.
So in a short, as I can, if the next time, even this cloth I'm wearing here is produced by one of such persons.
Wow.
And I was given that training because I had to patronize it.
Wow, this is really impressive. And it looks so good on you. Simple and very classy.
Thank you.
Okay, Doctor, we are looking at a big story for today. Security, 60 years on. Today, Nigeria clocks 60. How has the journey been in the security sector? We've looked at the economic sector, we have looked at the tourism industry. Today we are focused on security. How has the nation fared? Then we bring it home to Cross River State.
Yes, Nigeria as a whole, I would not mince words.
Yeah.
The security situation has been bad. It has been declining with time because it has never happened this before. We see that right in Northeast, Boko Haram not allow any person to stay. The Fulani herdsmen are not letting it go. Almost everywhere you're having the incidents of kidnapping, robbery, and so many social crises that were just like mere dreams to the Nigerian people. But that is not to say government is not making any effort from the national wing. Of course, the government is making effort, but the efforts are yet to actually return Nigeria to the peaceful nation it was before. Coming down to the state has witnessed some of those challenges too, but the robust nature of the security architecture put in the state has played very vital role in not allowing it snowball into what is happening at the national level. You believe with me that there was a time it was daily occurrences of core clashes, kidnapping and robbery everywhere. But when the state government, the leadership of Sir Professor Ben Layade, redefined the structure, the architecture of the security in the state, he was able to debuckle the office of the special service, which used to be called Office of State Security Advisor, into three, having the North, the Central, and the South, all headed by a State Security Advisor, answerable to the Permanent Secretary, who is coordinating them. The architecture had in it a way that every local government area had a formation, security formation, which has to do with even vigilante and all other structures that try to make sure that whatever happens at any time and at any point in the state is reported to the relevant agencies. With these structures that were put in place, that robust structure that was put in place, it has been yielding very serious results. Reason why, even when all our boundaries, our borders, we are hearing crisis left, center, and that, you see that there is it became a reduced. You see the reduction that has come to stay. Even in the internal wars that communities were fighting over land boundaries, and believe with me that internally all those things are now reduced. Right in, because of that, the security agency put in place by the state government, which was before now called Colombo, Operations Colombo, now renamed, rebranded, and renamed Operation Akbaku. Akbaku means devil beans. It has been very contributory. Using that operation is a combination, drive all the staff from all the security agencies, from Army, Air Force, police, all together to form this operation. It has been playing a very vital, and is still playing a very vital role in making sure that surveillance is increased and things are put in place where even those core groups, the leaderships are brought together to discuss and using dialogue to making them also willingly leave the their trade to more constructive things. So all this, what is put in place is making our state experience a low crime rate compared to every other state in Nigeria.
Okay, Doctor, let's quickly look at, are there certain factors that pose threats to the security of our nations in the last 60 years? What have been those factors that have posed threats to our security?
See, there are many factors. First and foremost, where there is, it's a general saying, a hungry man is an angry man. Yes, and if a person is hungry, if a person is not employed, is idle, yes, he has nothing doing. Yes, the possibility of him joining the other way is there. So that using unemployment rate is a factor that really threatens this. And apart from that, funding, security, and you see, the mistake many people do is that because they say the Federal Assembly of the government is the welfare, taking protection of life and property of the citizens. Look, no one government can do that. All other people, the whole society have to all contribute, collaborate with the government to get it achieved. Because security is not one man's business. It's not only a government business. It's everybody. Everybody must think safety. Everybody must be conscious about security. Everybody must make a contribution to security. Contribution may not necessarily mean money. It also means volunteering information. It also means bringing up the children or the people you meet together in your clubs, wherever you are gathering together, on how you can tell people why they should shun criminality and embrace good areas. So the lack of all those ones are really the threats to security. That come to education too. You see, by education, every person says what it's supposed to mean is that when they say you are a graduate of this, for instance, a graduate of agric, you should be a person to practice agriculture when you are out of the school. So in such a way now, it will be very surprising to say a person is saying, I read a BSc agric, but I have no job. Why do you? Who is supposed to give you the job? So having a question mark that there may be that question of functionality, which means what you have been taught. There is a gap between what you have been taught, that's the theory, and the doing capacity. Okay. I mean the gap between which is knowing and doing gap. Knowing you have been taught you can write, but you cannot practice it. So if those happen in any educational system, what the outcome will be that many of the people who would be craving for certificates will not be able to live what the certificate holds. Okay, Doctor, very briefly, you said one of the factors is people providing information. Now, you would agree with me that we have this conspiracy of silence. Now, we like your effort in fighting cultism in Cross River State is very commendable. Remarkable. But within the people in the community, they know who the cultists are. But there is this conspiracy of silence. Nobody would want to talk. So what would be the form of orientation that should be given to those within the community to give out this information to help in security? For fear of after effects. In the security circles, an informant is highly protected. And that's why the security demands people to give information without necessarily even giving their names. This is just go, this is what is happening. Don't even give your name. Because we know that those who even give information, we give some element of some palliatives that enable them, say, and we provide security to such people. We're making sure that you are kept in secret. Nobody knows that this is this. But the unfortunate thing is that why I will always hammer on that is that situation arises where we even pursue kidnappers. They enter into compounds. And we'll try to enter, the people will even lock us off. When you force yourself in, the next day you say you are forceful entry. Okay. From our lawyer. all right, Doctor. So very briefly, what's the way forward? The way forward is for everybody to see that security is not and will never be only one man's business. It's a business for everybody, and security itself starts with every individual.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Alfred Mboto, Permanent Secretary, Special Officers, Governor's Office. Thank you so much for your presence this morning in the studio.
Thank you, and I'm happy today is my birthday. So I wish all Nigerians, I wish all of you a happy independence celebration, and the blessing that God has favored me to give me one additional day today. That same God who favored me, these favors will abide in all of you.
Amen.
Doctor,
as Cross River remains peaceful.
We say amen to that.
thank you so much. And you pay for that.